Kind of wild. So he's in the finals. They get it done. He's in the bottom right. Our blue Protoss player. This is MaxPax. Again, thank you to MaxPax. I don't know what he had to cancel or what he had to do, but he was going to be forfeiting if he won out his initial lower bracket matches. He was not meant to be able to play right now. I said, I really do not have another time I can organize this or have this going on. If you have to go, it's a forfeit. Shout out to MaxPax. I don't know what he did or what he's sacrificed, but he's decided to play the games as more important. So he's going to be here. He's going to compete instead of us having a forfeit right now. So, hooray! That makes me feel a little bit better about the day. As the top left, our red Terran player is going to be GuMiho. Do our teammates for a while on Storm as we get rolling here. On this one, thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. Peach Picker 100. Morty Love, thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. I appreciate it a lot. Guys, I'm enjoying the stream. I'm enjoying the competition. We don't have much of it left, so if you've got a sub in you or a prime ready to go, do consider using it. Help us to support further WardiTV events in the future. Help us to try and run more of these. As we will be taking a little step back from tournament organizing, guys, just to be transparent as well. I do not plan to organize tournaments for a little bit. The StarCraft schedule has been way too hectic lately. It's been very stressful trying to just run stuff, and as pretty much every time I try and run something, someone else wants to run something, and players do not want to prioritize my events. They seem to think my events are the ones that just kind of can run from replays and stuff, so I'm just going to be taking a little step back and resetting, get the passion back a little bit before we resume, but obviously we do generally want to keep on running StarCraft events, just need to step back a little for a little while, reset, like I say, regather the passion, the charge, and hopefully find some gaps in the StarCraft schedule, because actually just trying to run StarCraft events, the biggest challenge is actually just finding a free weekend where something isn't going on usually, so I'm sure you guys will not, or we will not be completely short of events to watch and cover and stuff, because like I say, it is just busy all the time. So yeah, just a little bit of a heads up. So, next vote, thank you so much for the 7-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Very much indeed for dropping the love on the channel today. We do have the Reaper Hellion coming about then, going to be trying to get moving. But just a few moments again, get set up, see what we can do. Let's just have ourselves another Hellion just going to be popping out for a couple of moments. It's going to be 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions. So this is obviously kind of what you expect from the kind of GuMiho openings, right? Some aggression, some weirder things. Going to drop the grenade down. The Adepts back away from that grenade, but they are going to lose that first Adept pretty quickly anyway, so Adept will fall. Stalker coming down here now as well, as we are 2 Reapers and 1 Hellion remaining. Diving into the main, looking for some probes right now. Just going to be seeing 1 Hellion will go down. The Reapers will hop to the low ground though, and we'll find ourselves another couple of probes. That's probe number 3 dropping. That's going to see another grenade. A 4th probe is going to be picked off as well. And we do have the Adept coming across, another Reaper shot going down. Well, successful opening from GuMiho. Definitely get some damage done. Factory is about to finish in the main base as well, so sorry, not the factory finished in the main base. What am I on about? The starport Factory's gonna get a siege tank on the way. Starport's coming up. We got our blink coming through on the side of MaxPax. Just managed to break myself. I was reading chat and then I got myself confused. That's why I play. Well, it doesn't make sense. I play Terran, but I can't multitask. That's why I never got very good, I guess. Let's just see the blink is about to finish, and the medevac loads up a couple of wooden mines. They are going to come across the map as well. It's just going to bring those straight over for the moment. More stalkers will warp in, so again we get that on the go immediately. A little bit more pressure ready to go too, so seeing that coming in right now. Raven is about halfway done. And the Widow Mines is going to get a couple workers here. The Stalker's actually going to be into the back of the natural already, so they're going to take position pretty much straight away and find some odd positions. Tank sieging will pretty much shut this down. Do not quite finish off that depot that we were trying to fire onto, so nothing really comes of that in the end, but I guess not a bad attempt. Not a bad effort to try and find something. It was a cool position that MaxPax found. It was not a common one to kind of slip in behind the mineral line like he did. I was not expecting it to kind of look like that at first. Mine burrows up, going to target down another couple of probes, another couple of workers going down there. The Raven's still there with the siege tank to push back the prism once more, so we just shove that away. Stimpack still going through, engineering bay producing, bringing all of this up for the moment as we do have our stalkers continue to gather. A few of them continue to unload. And we get ready to hop up into this main base. This defensive GuMiho has to be... yeah, I mean, it has to be good, but it is looking good for the moment. Obviously, these stalkers can still dive one tank when the blink comes back. We're going to relocate one tank because we lose the observer, so MaxPax now has a little bit less vision to work with. Loads the herd stalkers back into the prism as well. And MaxPax will be forced to turn away from this one, so that will be the end of that. And now the stalker's going to go back towards the natural instead. Try and find position for even further damage. But I think GuMiho's defense genuinely is just very good here. That said, of course, MaxPax is set up across the 3 bases, so he has got 3 bases to work with. He's not super reliant on kind of, doing a lot of damage with those stalkers, although he's down a few probes, so some damage would be nice. This is where you can maybe find some of it as the prism starts to come into play. Dropping a few of these stalkers behind the natural, able to get some SCV kills there. David comes back through the main base, auto turret going down, a couple of probes getting knocked down immediately. +1 attack coming up, the Marauder in production also. Charge building, +1 attack coming through also. Just going to see extra gateways coming about now. Our stalkers back onto the map. It is currently MaxPax trailing in that supply. Army supply definitely down a little bit for him here, 40 to 54. He really needs these stalkers to carry through a little bit as he continues to take some damage. Well, again, charge coming up. Just going to be seeing that +1 attack. And now a sentry on the way. Mortal coming through. Robo Bay coming up. And that combat shield and concuss shells both on the way. So you just get a little bit more of everything on the way through as well. So see our stalkers continue to fight. Well, we try and hold this back a little bit. Again, combat shield finishing, engineering bay, and the armory still coming through. As that prism gets set up in the main, just going to get the warp in. I mean, as soon as GuMiho wants to move out, MaxPax is going to try and make his life difficult is the plan. And being able to kind of warp in ahead of time like this is kind of nice, as now the Zealots charge through. GuMiho is a few steps out of his natural, so yeah, there's going to be damage. STVs begin to go down. Damage will indeed be done. Let's come back over. Bio continues to trade. Little mines going off, and a couple of Zealots cleaned up, but I was going to say, most importantly, this is meant to slow GuMiho down. It has not. GuMiho continues to cross the map, seemingly carefree. So GuMiho coming to the other side here is going to get himself an opportunity to absolutely maybe punish MaxPax a little bit, who has, again, just been trailing a little bit from the start. Plus, it's about to pop up on that robot facility as well. We're seeing the Bio continue to fight a little bit. We do see the robot facility dropping down, so that's already bad. You're going to start losing out on some of the production that you kind of really needed to help you along the way here. So, yep, that is not going to be super pretty. That's going to hurt a little bit. And MaxPax has just a massive Terran army sieged outside. Darkshine coming up, robot facility coming through. Extra Zealot's warping in, just going to go charging forward. The bio unit's going to begin to take a few shots. Zealot's going to charge into the mineral line over here, so going to find even more SCVs up for grabs. More of those picked away at, and Zealot's just going to turn back onto the orbital command. Probes are going to pull into this as MaxPax is getting pretty desperate on the defense. And he is just not going to be able to stick around in this one. GuMiho is going to take this first game of the best of series. So, big win, I think, for GuMiho as he starts up with a 1-0 lead. Of course, top left-hand corner, the red Terran player is going to be GuMiho. Currently leading by 1. Strong start from him. That's in the bottom right. Now our blue Protoss is MaxPax. Into this second game then. I'm intrigued to see what it is that we will get up to perhaps for a little bit. See what the plan will be. Obviously a first game that didn't do enough for MaxPax on those blink stalkers. GuMiho able to do a bit of damage early as well, and MaxPax has always had troubles worker count wise. Was never really in a comfortable economy in comparison to the Terran. I think that's where it fell apart for him. Obviously still trying to get something done with the stalkers, but whatever he did there was just not enough. And that led us to the GG in the end as Probe makes its way to the upper left-hand side to scout in these early moments. MaxPax wants to be very aware of what's going on. Doesn't want to be playing against any of this weird GuMiho trickery or proxy in action where we know fine well GuMiho can be a very tricksy player in that regard. So scouting against him just makes sense. No reason to take risks, especially you're down a game already. You do not want to let those risks cost you a second and then suddenly, you know, your tournament live on the line. Backs away for now, of course. Don't expect that at some point. Obviously can't stick around forever, especially as the Terran units start to come up. That Pro will just be asking to go down, so get out of there for the moment. There's going to be a factory before we expand from GuMiho, and that's obviously very familiar with MaxPax, especially when he plays against Clem. Clem loves this sort of stuff lately. The factory, then the expand, just allow you to, again, pressure and put a bit more damage out without being the immediate kind of defensive play. And it just gives you more defense as well in case MaxPax gets aggressive. Those early gateway units so often, you know, would come across the map and cause trouble behind mineral lines, just try and delay the setup and everything. That doesn't really happen when you go for the factory first because your units will be out there to deal with it, and your CC is delayed enough that the first adept or so doesn't always kind of harass it at all. Especially if you build in the main base. In this case, we build it low ground, so not going to be a main defense, but that's fine. As right now, the adept isn't even across the map, so working out for the moment. Adept coming over. Reaper takes a few more shots of damage. And there's going to be seeing the adept still trying to chase down. A couple moments there. Try and just find some extra. Reaper is obviously going to try and chase probes around and pick up as much scouting as possible. It is a Stargate and is Phoenix on the way, so we are going to see that different style from the Blink after that game number 1. Did not quite work out for MaxPax. Phoenix will be very controlling early, very good defensively if your opponent decides to try and get aggressive. If we see any sort of early game kind of harass from GuMiho, those Phoenix may be able to just shut it down before it really gets anywhere meaningful. And if we can work that into play, then obviously the Phoenix just very strong in the mid game too. Lead you into that Colossus, you get there very safely, the Phoenix protect you the whole time. And obviously there's a reason Phoenix Colossus is one of the better compositions in matchup as of late, as you just see the Widowmine shot going off, the Phoenix taking damage. Just going to be seeing ourselves the Robo Facility coming up as well. Getting that underway as a couple of Cyclones continue to produce. Good depth, the Stalker and the Phoenix. Make it 2, make it 3. Chilling out the front, but the Cyclones on the way. They're going to be good against these Phoenix as well. Another Phoenix pops out the Stargate. We just see our Phoenix Magic's coming through. And again, the Raven building. Cyclones on the way. Let's see if he goes all the way out over the far right-hand side as a Widowmine shot lands onto some Phoenix as well. Phoenix will move back up. Still seeing Cyclones, and there is going to be the fun starting up from GuMiho. He got the double gases on the natural, and now he's going to end up playing mech. So GuMiho going to mech it up here on Oceanborn with this obviously fast Cyclone and everything, something that we've seen few players experiment with. Generally, it's being kind of ditched. Generally, people do not agree with the idea of, hey, this is a map that, this is a style that really works out. So it'll be interesting to see if it does work out here from GuMiho. If you can make it work against MaxPax, then maybe it's viable. MaxPax with these Phoenix obviously still moving about and just kind of chipping away at the edges. The RoboBay comes online. Of course, Immortals will be important here too, just because mech units will pretty much all take bonus damage off Immortals. Phoenix to lift up a bunch of Cyclones and the rest of the ground force being strong to kind of attack in. I don't think there's anything specific that MaxPax necessarily needs to do against this right now. Phoenix, need to be careful. There's a Widow Mine there. We split a couple of Phoenix to the side to make sure nothing dies from it. Phoenix moving about. Hurricane Thrusters is on the way. Again, the Libs coming through the Hellions building. And we do have, again, Twilight and the Forge coming up on the side of MaxPax. So bringing that Twilight and Forge into action. All the upgrades ready, and again, just obviously following up off the back of the Colossi means you're going to start actually getting your gateway units to be a little bit more viable in this game. Obviously, Twilight upgrades very good. And again, against mech, you do actually want a lot of the gateway units because the ability to kind of warp in just a lot of them can really outnumber what is usually kind of a slower build-up out of mechs. So especially during a fight, being able to warp in extras and so on, or just kind of warp in reinforcements, or even just flanking with Zealots can be very powerful. That's the thing, right? Blink or Charge, both given speed upgrades to those gateway units, just make them even better against mech units, because the speed to engage into the units with, to close the distance on that mech army, that's what you need to succeed. So that's exactly what MaxPax has set up for. He's going to get the Charge as he continues to build Immortals. He built a Colossus, but you can see the Immortals are clearly on his mind. Worth noting, this is mech, but it's also 2 base mech. We are not moving into anything else, so one big push here from GuMiho is what he's setting up for, and that big push is coming right now as MaxPax. Well, that's where the extra Immortal will be nice. I mean, more Immortals, better off will be. Matrix is going down, initially hitting a Stalker, then the Colossus. So, Colossus is going to get caught up here. The Liberators continue to siege. Tanks will come through as well. Liberators sieging up, and MaxPax will back away. Trying to buy a little bit more time against us. There's Phoenix trying to come in from a different side. As the Cyclone's still pushing around, the Phoenix are still fighting. Just for the moment. Let's see what else we can do as another scan comes about, just for now as well. Seeing the cannons already taking extra shots as well. So cannons going down for the moment. Again, seeing our Ravens coming through. Still got a lot of energy on those Ravens. MaxPax at least will buy himself time for Charge to finish, and that maybe allows him to flank in, right? Which at this point could be, I think, a pretty big deal. In we go. The Phoenix is going to start lifting up a bunch of the siege tanks. Take those out the equation is the plan. Make them not matter. It's going to be the best thing you can do, as the Immortals are going to fire through, and they are going to get on top of a lot of these tanks. There's one Liberator still in the back. You got to be careful about it. Only one tank remains after all of this, so there's not a lot of zone control left alive. I think this was... It was so close from MaxPax. I want to say it's good enough. He warps in Stalkers. I mean, they are unupgraded, no Blink Stalkers. You need something to shoot down these Libs, but the siege of the Libs is just a bit too much as well. Even if we do not have tanks, the Liberator Cyclone combo might in itself be enough. The Liberator is just setting up an alley, a runway of Liberator shots to be had. As you do go across the map as MaxPax with a few different units, these Immortals and Stalkers, those probes in the upper right are going to be long distancing actually, trying to stay out of trouble. MaxPax is third going down. GuMiho continue to press on through. Continue to pressure on in as we do see the army of GuMiho sitting tight at the moment. The rest of this army of MaxPax trying to press forward. Interference Matrix goes down. First Colossus getting caught. The Stalkers trying to fight the Immortals on the other side. If we get rid of one Liberator, we're going to get rid of maybe number 2, but nope, not even number 2. The Stalkers all go down. And MaxPax just can't quite get through the power of that. He knocks down the siege tank, but the Cyclones just reinforce at such a rapid rate that I just do not see it being enough here, unfortunately. And it does look as though GuMiho is going to be up to a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. GuMiho looking for a rematch against Dark in the finals. GG's in the bottom left. Our Red Terran player, 2-base Mechanit. This is our Red Terran player, GuMiho. Top right hand side, down by 2, needs to find a fix. Our Blue Protoss player is MaxPax. He's about to get proxied in as natural as GuMiho comes across the map with this SCV straight away to go pop that down. So barracks over in that natural expansion, that's already going to be obviously an intriguing starting point. We'll see whether or not we can do something about that one. Probe is going to find it straight away, so that's going to help you a lot on this, as we are going to see the SCV get nibbled at. So big scout from MaxPax. GG's. Nice. That's exactly what we needed, right, guys? MaxPax got a map back on the board. Boom. In the bottom right-hand side, our Red Terran player. The 2-1 lead is going to be in the red, GuMiho. In the top left, our Blue Protoss is MaxPax. So we're going to try and do this one again, guys. Just goes down to the front, and Gateway over in the main base of MaxPax. Nothing too crazy on the first few moments. Let's see where MaxPax and GuMiho will take us. This game number 4. Hard to really say that MaxPax is back in this, right? Because GuMiho was very good in those first 2 games, and in game 3 just, well, do you really... Yeah, okay, MaxPax has a point, but it's almost like a free, you know, it is kind of a freebie because he scouted. It's like, congratulations, you probe scouted. You're natural. That's worth a map in this situation. So, see what happens. It's underway with a probe coming down from natural in towards the main base, and SCV is there to nibble at the probe a little bit as well. SCV and the probe going at one another. And again, Nexus coming up, Cybercore coming through. Factory's on the way. And we just have the orbital command about to finish up as well. So again, that orbital completed. We do have the Nexus on the natural. Cybercore again about to finish up. As the warp gate will continue. Factory is going to complete, so we got that factory done. Probe continues up into the main base. There's going to be a Twilight Council opening now. You might notice here that GuMiho has done one thing that you might not have expected, which is he's not expanded. So he's just 1 base in this right now. Cyclone on the way. Starport coming up. GuMiho looking to get back into the match against Dark that we saw him doing a little bit of previously. Well, let's see if this aggression can work out. Medevac on the way. Cyclone Marine coming across. Have the blink being chrono boosted on the Twilight Council. Another gateway going down. Just getting this all settled for a few moments. And the Cyclone continues to the upper left, so again, Cyclone moving across. We are going to see Blink, the Warp Gate all coming through, a couple extra gates coming by, the Robo coming in. The SCVs will pull. There's full commitment from GuMiho. MaxPax is going to see like a Cyclone. With those Adepts, cancels the Shade. He has a single battery. I mean, this is just terrible through and through. I don't think there's... I mean, if MaxPax defends this, it's obviously that... If MaxPax defends this, then it wasn't a very good build, is what I've got to say, I guess, because his awareness about this is zero. He's done nothing that's going to help him immediately deal with this. As the battery is going to heal up the Adepts, the Cyclones target down an initial Stalker. We might not even have energy to Super Battery right now, because I don't know why you wouldn't have used it. Okay, there we go. Super Battery comes in. SCV is going to give the Stalkers a cuddle. We can target fire down the Super Battery, so now the Super Battery not available anymore. Probes will drop a lot sooner. Another Cyclone showing up should really just come forward. I know we're stutter stepping, but just be careful. With 5 Stalkers up, can MaxPax find a defense? Blink is about to be done. With Blink done, I think he might be okay. Maybe that Super Battery just about bought enough time. Like I say, with Blink, this is a very different situation. You can see that Liberator sieging up. The Stalkers are going to commit for the Lib. That's not a good call because they take a lot of damage. GuMiho chases into the main base, so he's not just going to settle for the natural here. He wants more. He's going to get rid of one Stalker. The Probe's pulling in again. The Liberator will siege up. Cyclone gets microed back into the medevac. Stalkers blink forward to get rid of the Liberator. We continue to micro the Cyclone. The Probes are making a big difference here. MaxPax losing a lot of supply. GuMiho will boost out of the base. Being chased by the Stalkers will lose the medevac. And GuMiho is going to start trying to follow back at home. Oh my goodness, the Cyclone needs a lock on here. The Stalkers have blinked already. The Cyclone's low though. It's stuck. It doesn't have anywhere to go. GuMiho needed to stop rallying forwards. My goodness, I wonder if just going into the main base in general was a mistake. I wonder if he could have just been okay if he just sat on the low ground, sat in the natural and killed the natural off. I mean, he obviously maybe wouldn't have been in a great spot with Blink up. He probably did need more. MaxPax obviously can rebuild probes. 2 bases versus 1. He's going to be able to rebuild right from the get-go here. And Stalkers obviously probably can't do too much. Going up the ramp is going to be tough. An Observer and a couple more probes continue to come about as our Marines are building from GuMiho. Raven is about to finish. The Cyclone coming through. Medevac is on the way. The siege tank coming by. And the Stalker finishing. Couple probes coming about. And MaxPax is going to sit up here. GuMiho is just building up for round 2. So the question is, can MaxPax's rebuild come without him being in too much trouble here? So we're going to start building an Immortal. That's going to become essential. This Raven will get 1 probe, deny some mining time. As GuMiho, like I say, he's going to have to get across the map against these Blink Stalkers as well, though. Medevac loads up the Marines. Again, the Lib, the tank, the extra Marines coming about. Immortal going to be finishing. A couple more probes coming in. This medevac heads to the upper left-hand side. Again, another scan coming about. A few Stalkers on the low ground. Tanks will move down here as well. And, well, they're going to block everything else off. But the Stalkers step back. They actually Stalkers step back in. They do not take a shot as the Marine drop. There's only an Immortal at home. No mobility on this at all. Okay, there's actually 2 Stalkers in the corner hunting the Raven. If the 2 Stalkers pull against the Marine drop, it's very possible that the Raven can do a lot as well. Okay, we're going to drop the recall. Medevac lifts, Medevac boosts. That gives the rest of the army the chance to come across the map, though. 44 to 25 supply at the moment. In terms of army, I was going to see Stalkers trying to catch this Medevac. I was going to say has high ground vision off the Observer. Here comes the Force. Another battery sets up from MaxPax. He's 20 army supply behind, but well, I guess we'll see if it'll be enough. I'm kind of surprised the boys are not coming for round 2. And GuMiho is clearly fully set on this one base. I can only feel like boys would help him out. Loses the Raven. It's a fairly decent loss as the Immortal tries to get away from this. Stalkers Already taking a bit of damage. Obviously, you kind of have to fight this, though. If these tanks get sieged up, the fight is going to be even worse for you, so you've got to try and take as much of an advantage before then as you can. Marine standing, fighting, like I say, the mobility of the Stalkers that will do well. 8 probes going down as damage goes into the natural expansion, apparently. It's the Raven coming back through and actually shooting down a few of those. The Raven having a great time. Liberating the main base has been huge as well. That's also a part of this, so MaxPax losing a lot of workers. Stalker's going to shut off reinforcement lines. 3 siege tanks are going to be sieged. And Immortal's about to pop off there as the Liberator took a Stalker down before it went. The Immortal taking a bit of a beating as it goes. Robo Facility now depowered. MaxPax has to give up the natural, and it looks as though MaxPax is going to be in a rough spot. Thanks, firing. Another Stalker goes down. Our Marine's still going to be firing up onto the natural. Marines and tanks going to turn around again. The siege tank is going to get into the line of sight. Well, that's momentarily nice. He actually gets a couple Stalkers out of it, which is something. You know those Stalkers are still out of position, so you move through. Misses the lift-off on the siege tank, by the way, as the probes are going to pull forward. An auto turret comes in. We need to get rid of these Immortals realistically. If the Immortals go down, the probes don't really matter after. GG, says MaxPax. GuMiho, 3-1 over MaxPax. You could probably call it a 3 to a 0.5. That game 3 was not really much of a game. And GuMiho goes to the grand finals. Go up against Dark in the rematch. Dark looked very good against GuMiho in the